Welcome everyone to BBTV. We are coming to you with our very special guest, Jodyjo10 from YouTube and Facebook, and we're going to be talking tonight about her revision that she's had. She is a VSG transition to mini gastric bypass. So welcome, Jodyjo. I want to say that to you. And before we kind of launch the show, we want to go ahead and just kind of give you some information on the show itself. So what's going to happen is we are going to spend the last 20 minutes of the show addressing any questions that you may have for Jody. So what you want to do is we have two applications that should be, there's a little Rubik's Cube icon on the top right-hand corner of your screen if you're watching from a laptop. Not sure if it works from an iPad or an iPhone, but what you want to do is there's going to be a banner above us just now that says join the conversation. When you click that, it's going to open up a brand new window for you so that you can participate in asking live questions to Jody. So again, we will be doing those probably about 6:40 our time, so that would be 9:40 your time, and we'll address any questions that come in for her. And you'll just need to go ahead and activate those applications. And when you do go ahead and join the conversation, a new window will come up. You'll click on that Rubik's Cube icon on the top right-hand corner of your screen. And then you'll see two little icons. One says Showcase and one says Q&A. If you click on that Q&A, you can go ahead and just type in your questions that will identify who you are, because apparently Google will not allow anyone to make comments on any live stream Google Hangouts everyone's learning. So just kind of want to give you a heads up. So, Jody, how was your day?
Yes, it's good. It's good. It's good. Good.
How's the weather over there? You were saying something's going on with the weather?
Oh, right? Yeah, we're getting monsoons over here. It's raining. We're getting all that stuff that comes from over by Texas and Louisiana, so it's been raining real hard. And
so do you guys get hail, or like how does it affect your?
No, it's just now by my sisters they had some tornado warnings and stuff like that. But right now we're just getting flooded. We're just getting flooded.
Wow. So you guys have a hard time driving anywhere, or how does that work? Like when you
I live on a dirt road, so
oh my gosh.
Yeah, I live in the country, y'all, in the country. So yeah.
Wow.
When
so why don't you tell a little bit of everybody, like a little bit about yourself, maybe a little bit about who you are and how you joined, how you started considering weight loss surgery, and how you brought yourself to social media, and so on and so forth. So let the people know, who is Jody? Where did she come from?
Okay, let's see. I started my journey back in 2011, I believe. I started it before I had my VSG surgery, and then I started making videos. And okay, I'm a movie star. Okay. I started making my videos and then progressed, and I went to Mexico. The first time I went to Mexico. I went to Puerto Vallarta, and I had my surgery there. And from the very get-go, I had a hard time with it. I struggled the whole time with it. And everybody's different, and I want to say this because I don't want to scare anybody away from having a surgery, because everybody is different on their surgeries and how their bodies react and how everything goes. But for some reason, me and the VSG just didn't mix. It didn't click right. I lost 50 pounds with it. That was it. And when I stopped losing weight, it's because I had quit exercising, because I have the problems with my neck and back. When that happened, I gained a couple pounds and gained a couple pounds. And then next thing you know, I got depressed. What did I do? I started eating. Stretched my pouch out, gained 50 pounds back, or 45 of the 50 pounds back. So with that, my blood pressure started going back up. Diabetes started my A1C started going back up, and my back just got worse. So I started looking into revisions, and I did a lot of research, y'all. I had looked into possibly doing the R&Y at first. And then I started doing the research on that, and it started showing that getting revised from a sleeve to an R&Y, the chances of me losing weight would be not very good. So I started looking up. They had a surgery called mini gastric bypass, which is what I had. And when I had called a Lighter Me, which that's who I had my surgery with this second time, the lady asked me, she goes, well, what about the mini gastric bypass? And I was like, well, I don't want something mini. And she's like, no, 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 no. Just because it says mini doesn't mean it is mini. There's differences, in the mini gastric bypass can be a lot stronger in ways than the regular bypass. So after doing the research, I decided that that's what I was going to get. I went to Tijuana, Mexico with a lighter me, and Dr. Ortiz did my second surgery, which was the mini gastric bypass. He ended up bypassing 9 to 10 feet of my small intestine, and he also took out my gallbladder and had to re-sleeve or make my pouch smaller. So I got that done April 16th, 2015. And when I started, my beginning weight for this, it was 245. I lost 5 pounds on my pre-op diet before I had my surgery. The day they weighed me, the day of my surgery, I was 240. And today I'm at 183.
Yay!
I know, right? I just had a 2-pound loss this week, so I'm real tickled about that.
Yeah, well, you're still in the very early stages of that. So before we go into to your round 2, let's talk about your round 1 for those that that are new VSGers and so on and so forth. So when you started your VSG journey, what was your start weight then? Because I know you kind of just covered a little bit of that, but I kind of want to start from the beginning.
Right.
So when you first considered surgery, what was your start? What is your height, first of all? And if you don't mind, I don't mean to be rude, but what is your age? And what was your start weight at that point? What brought you to, oh my God, I have to do something about this?
Right. Okay. My starting weight then was 255. I'm 5'2", which I'm really short. And my blood pressure and my diabetes was out of control. And the doctor says, oh, well, all you got to do is just quit putting food in your mouth. And I'm like, you're crazy. So I started looking into the VSG. And the doctor I'd went to, he had amazing results. He had a lot of people supporting him. He had a good track record. It was Dr. Hoya in Puerto Vallarta. And I also had another friend on YouTube that had went with her. Now, at the time, let's see, that was 2012. I was 42 years old.
Okay.
When I had that surgery. So my other friend that had her, she was in her high 50s. Neither one of us had good results. And I don't know if it's an age thing. I don't know if it's both of us have back problems and mobility problems. And I think that is a huge factor too, because when you get into just restriction, you're still absorbing all the calories. You're still able to eat whatever you want. Very few and far between do you get dumping. I never had dumping. And I know very few people that do dump on VSG. I didn't have a problem. My pouch, I don't believe that Dr. Hoya made our pouches very small, because both of us could eat way more than, like, even what I can do now at 7 months out. I could eat more at 2 or 3 months out with the first surgery than what I can now.
Okay, so the reason why, and the only reason why I asked your age is because sometimes with injuries, or certain issues that come up with comorbids, right? Your additional, what allows you to have a surgery, they evaluate your risk, right? So, and I don't really know. I think it's a case by case basis, a surgery by surgery basis, in terms of the surgeon and what their views are on what you need to do prior to. I know I was, let's see, I'm 44 now, so I think I was just turning 41, because it was 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, so I mean, well, I'll be 3.5 years out in December. I always say 4, but it just feels like, at this point it feels like I'm way out there. But the reason why I asked that is because my particular surgeon was very careful with me, because I am a bleeder just by nature. So I actually had to have 22 pre-op tests, which was just about everything that you possibly have to have under the sun, including an eye exam, which, but I think that was the diabetic issues and so on. And so that's the reason why I asked that. When it came to pre-op, did you have any, I know a lot of us out there that have this surgery, whether it be VSG or RNY, have certain types of pre-ops, I think. I mean, I think I didn't actually, because I was so close to the border on the BMI, I personally didn't have to do the OptiFast, you know, and the shakes
Right.
that people have to do. So did you
Right.
have to have, since you went to Mexico, and that's a really actually good point to bring out to those who are considering Mexico or Mexican surgeries, is do they do that? You know, do they make you go through any kind of a, you know, sort of test run, right, with a pre-op diet, or is it just that cleansing out your system a few days before you actually fly in and have surgery?
The first surgery, I had to do a 2-week liquid diet,
Okay.
which was, yeah, oh my God, it was hell. Excuse my French, but it was
Yeah,
hell.
no, I understand.
With this one, and the reason they do that, let me say this, the reason they do that is they want to shrink your liver. With going through this pre-op diet, they want to get you off the things that make your liver, they want your liver to shrink. So that way it's a less chance of them nicking it during surgery. So that's the whole reason for the pre-op. But both surgeries I had to do it with a lighter me. I had to do a 2-week diet, and it what it was is meat and vegetables basically, and shakes. And then when I got 3 days before surgery, that was clear liquids. So
Gotcha.
and yeah,
Okay.
so both of them did require it. And I think pretty much all of them do. They just all have different ways that they approach it.
Okay. Okay. And so how do they, maybe you should maybe explain in terms of, because you did go to 2 different cities, right? Or 2 different,
Yes,
2 different
two different
countries?
surgeries.
Okay.
Yep.
So when on your first run, even though you didn't know that it wasn't going to be successful in the long term, how did they communicate with you prior to, you know, showing up or whatever? Like when you're going through that process of the 2 weeks of doing that, do they communicate with you or check in with you? I know a lot of us have to have the psych eval, right, and the meetings with the dietitian and so on, and obviously that's very different, your experience. And I know there's a lot of people actually going to Mexico nowadays, or, you know, just out of the country to have the surgery. So what is their process in terms of getting to know you, how they determine if you're a good candidate? And you could probably answer this for both surgeries and how they differed.
Right.
But, how do they communicate with you and get prepared to see you and so on and so forth, since you can't obviously fly back and forth for, you know, everything that you have to do?
With the first company, it was all through emails, and it was very little contact, I can tell you before. As far as they would email me, I had to pay for everything, get all that situated, and then they told me what I needed to do, and that was pretty much all I heard, unless I had questions, and then I'd email them, and they'd call me, or you know, whatever. Afterwards, I had no contact with them, the first company. Now, the second company, A Lighter Me, you actually talk to coordinators, okay? When you first call them, you talk to the coordinators, and the coordinators get to know you, and then they send you out a application. And then you have to fill that application in and then send it in, and then they let you know if they approve you or not. And then from that point on, you are in continual contact with your coordinator. Like anything that you need, they call and they email you, they call and check on you, which my coordinator, they called and checked on me. And then they walked you through the whole process all the way up until surgery. And afterwards, I still have a lot of contact with them through Facebook. If I have a problem, all I have to do is email. They have a coordinator. She's an aftercare specialist. Her name is Rhonda. All I have to do is email her, and she calls me like that. So that the aftercare with A Lighter Me is phenomenal. And I didn't get that with that first place. And the reason I chose them is because of that. Because there was another girl on here, the Real Share Bear, I think.
Yeah.
I think she went to them. And I was watching her videos, and that's how I found out about them. And then just getting in contact with them, and from that point on, they had me hooked. Because it was just phenomenal. The beginning and the aftercare. Like right now, if I have problems, all I got to do is shoot an email or get on Facebook, and they're right there answering the questions. So I just love that about them.
That's great. So what do you think was, with the first experience, do you think that it was possibly something that the surgeon had done with your surgery in general? In other words, when you went back in for this revision type surgery, Um, did he say, well, this may have been the reason why you weren't successful, you know, at the first time or something?
Yeah, he told me my sleeve was real wide. Now, naturally, I did stretch it out, but he said it was real wide. But the surgeon did a good job. Um, and I will say this: they did urge me to get the bypass at first, and I was too chicken.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
How I was not chicken to get 3/4 of my stomach removed is beyond me, but I was too chicken.
Yeah.
So I went with the sleeve. But they did recommend I got the bypass, and I did not listen. So, you know, that's kind of my fault, but there was a difference in the sleeve as far as what one company does and the other. And he said my sleeve was really wide.
I think that, you know, I mean, I think that no one can really determine what surgery will be best for them. And I feel like a lot of us that go to these, you know, our consultation when we meet surgeons, whether we stay in the States or, you know, or we don't, I think it, you know, you have, when you do your research regarding the place that you go, right, I think I've just out of natural instinct, you want to trust, right, your surgeon and what their recommendations will be. And I think a lot of people do not have the gastric bypass due to the fact that they are afraid of, one, just the actual surgery itself, because it is rearranging your anatomy. However, I think a bigger fear some people have is the deficiency that you are susceptible to going through life, you know, and how, like, if you do not stay up on your vitamins, you know, and all the regimen that you have to sort of embed in your new lifestyle can be detrimental. And I actually will speak on behalf of that, which is I had I didn't realize, I guess, that I would be sort of placed in a sort of in a pool of those that are really iron deficient. You know what I mean? I really didn't think much about that. I mean, I remember them as I would go to my follow-up saying something about, I guess it's called ferritin, which is a part of your iron. It's a class of your iron. And they kept saying, oh, you know, well, your iron's only 2, or oh, your iron's only 6. And I didn't really, because they didn't really make a big issue about it, they just said, you know, well, we want you to take a supplement once a day. You know, it's very important for the next 3 months. Let's see if we can get it up just with regular vitamins and a iron regimen. I didn't think anything of it, you know. But then I got so deficient. I mean, I noticed my hair was like falling out a little bit, but I didn't know that it was really related to being, like, I didn't know that iron deficiencies would cause me to, you know, like, be dizzy, right? And, like, give me symptoms like pregnancy does. Like, I had no idea I would feel, you know, sick all the time. And, like, you know, I pulled over one day going to work because I was so, like, just dizzy and off balance. I didn't even understand what was going on, what the hell was going on with me. It was kind of like a vertigo experience, if you've ever had any kind of a dizziness like vertigo. But I'm just saying, like, I think that's one of the things that keep people, you know, kind of wanting to go to VSG, on top of the fact that it's new, right? You know what I mean? It's new. There are a lot of positive results that come with it, but a lot of people, I think, in terms of doing weight loss surgery research, don't really research the long-term effects. They're more like, this is going to be a quick, not a quick fix, but it's going to be, you know, the alternative surgery. It's new. It's kind of on the fast track. You know what I mean? It's something the surgeons are saying that are, you know, it might be a better option, you know, for those that don't, that are not morbidly obese, I guess, you know, like, we're in a place where they feel like they need to lose over 100 pounds. So, or, you know, I guess it's, what is it, 150 or something like that? So, so I could imagine, you know, just your, like, not disappointment, but just your, like, how much work you had to put going through it just to try to get the weight off. You know what I mean? Within that first year. Because, to be honest, I remember watching you, and I remember you feeling, I saw your, like, frustration, you know, and you would make videos and just say, I do not know what is happening. Like, I don't get it. And I remember you talking about your injuries and, like, feeling like, I think you mentioned, right, a little bit about that you were kind of really confined to not being able to do what you really wanted to do. But I feel like sometimes, you know, with the surgery within the first year, it sort of works on its own. You know what I mean? Like, anything that you put in addition to that, like your fitness, how you incorporate your fitness, just is a bonus. Do you know what I mean? Like, how you really kind of kick up your metabolism and you're changing the way you eat and so on and so forth. So I feel like that kind of just kicks your body into overtime, so then you can get the best result, right? But I feel like the tool itself, whether you have the VSG or the RNY, I feel like it is supposed to do its job, right, for the first 5 or 6 months, I think. I mean, that would just be my natural expectation. So at what point did you feel like you wanted, where were you in time that you said, okay, I'm gonna, because I know you said the real Sherry had kind of, opened that door to that new company we're talking about, or the new medical hospital. So at what point did you feel like, you know what, I think I might want to research this, or I think I might want to do something about it? Like, at what point were you when you reached out?
I think I was a little over a year out. Maybe a year and a half out is when I started doing the research and looking into it, and getting serious about what I was going to try to do. And from that,
I'm sorry. Did you reach out though to your surgeon and say, listen, why is this not happening for me? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what got you to a point where you were considering that second opinion? I apologize.
I did. I had reached out to them at 7 months when I had quit losing, and he says, well, we consider you a success already because you've lost 40%.
That's unbelievable. Wow.
Oh, yeah, and that was unacceptable to me. And then now that doctor is no longer with that company that I went with. Yeah.
That's kind of scary.
Yeah, okay. But you know what? It is what it is. I mean, you really are taking your chances when you decide to do something like this outside of the States. And it is a big leap of faith. And that's what, and I thought I had done good, research when I did it. And I had seen the videos about Tijuana and this, that, and the other, and I was scared, because before I got my VSG, there's a girl called Keisha, Superwoman in training. She went to Lighter Me and got a VSG done. Wow. And she was talking about how inexpensive it was, how great they were. And I thought, what, it's Tijuana. I don't want to go there. Oh, no. I was letting my fears and everything else cloud my judgment of what I could have done. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And then after all this transpired and the year and a half went, and I started watching the videos, and I seen the real Cher Bear, and I seen her videos, and I started doing the research. I was like, you know what? It isn't that bad there. And let me tell you, when I went, it was like I was on vacation. Do you know that I did not have not an ounce of pain, except for gas? I had gas. I had a lot of gas, and that was it. The only problem that I had the whole time I was in the hospital was the nausea. And one time I experienced the nausea, and after that they took care of it every time. They brought me like every 4 hours or whatever, they would bring you your meds. They would go ahead and give me something for nausea, something for antacid, and then they would give me my pain meds. Because I have a bad problem with pain meds anyway. They make me sick. After that, I didn't have no problem. It was like I was on vacation. We was having parties in everybody's rooms. The nurses had to go find us. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if y'all,
I remember you posting your videos from being in the hospital and just kind of introducing the people that were there. And didn't you meet somebody that lived near you? Or I remember you talking about that. So share that experience.
I did. Before I went, we had started a chat room there was like 6 or 7 of us that were going to be going at the same time. So we had already been talking for like a couple months. So by the time we got there, it was like everybody knew each other. So we were in everybody, like I was never in my room until I was tired. I always hung out in my friends, and there's 2 of them, Sandra and Stacy. They live about 3 hours away from me, and I've already gone and seen them a couple times, and they look freaking fabulous. I'm like, fabulous. Wow. I mean, so I ended up making lifelong friends there, and then like the drivers, the doctor, I still talk to them on Facebook. I mean, it's just like I got a new family there, and it's awesome. It really is. I enjoy talking to them because they're all nuts.
How are
Oh
they
yeah.
responding to your like to your progress? Like, are they saying this, like, wow, I can't believe, you know what I mean?
Oh
Like from the
yeah.
time
They
you
like,
started and
yeah, when we post pictures, we put, everybody posts pictures on their site on Facebook, and they all chime in and they all come in there and they give you support and they're like, "Wow, you look good, you look great," and even Dr. Ortez comes on. I mean, from the nurses, the drivers, all of them that we met there, and then the coordinators that they have now that we used to have, they all come in and chime in and they give you support and tell you how good you look and everything like that, and that in itself makes you feel good because I mean, it's like I don't know. I have a hard time seeing it sometimes. I mean, if I see the picture side by side, I can see it, but like when I'm looking at myself, I'm like, I don't see it, you know?
yeah.
So it's nice just to have that affirmation, you know, that hey,
You
hey.
you come along. I mean, when I was putting together your trailer, I was like, she has come a long way in a very short amount of time. And I just was thinking she must just be like on a cloud, like seriously from the first time. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure it's helped you in
Yeah.
so many areas and including right your injuries because I know it's probably I mean anytime you're lighter what I mean it allows you to do more anyway I mean even though you're careful I mean it must just feel great to actually feel like you can maybe take a brief walk or just try a
Yeah.
little bit as opposed to feeling so like I feel like listening to your story it sounded like the fight was so much harder just to see if you could lose the weight in the beginning right and now
Yeah.
it's kind of you're working with your tool instead of your tool not working with you. Does that, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I feel
Yeah.
like that's kind of this time around, it's so much easier for you to feel like
It
you're
is.
actually progressing.
Yeah,
So
it is
I'm
a lot
really,
easier this time. And it's definitely teaching me some valuable lessons. Let me say that.
oh yeah. Well, that was my next
Oh.
question. But before I go on to the next questions about the side effects, you were a fantastic Raggedy Ann. I have to say that because you were like your Halloween pictures were amazing. I mean, I think I saved those pictures and sent them to my sister and my mom because my mom sews, and she makes dolls. And I was like, Mom, this
Yeah.
is like unbelievable. Like this is phenomenal. This is like costume because you had the little yarn,
Uh-huh.
like hair. I mean, it looks so much like it because I don't know if a lot of people know the traditional Raggedy Ann and Andy, what they
Right.
really truly look like. And so when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, that was so adorable. Before you start talking about more parts of the surgery, did you make that costume yourself or like did
No,
you?
actually, it was one of my friends, and she bought it off of eBay or something like that.
Oh
And the lady
really?
that what lady she bought it from made it herself. So I
Jeez,
was like
that's
just
just like,
amazed.
yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah.
I mean, I was, oh my goodness, I was like, that is, I mean, I wish you would have been in a contest because that was one of the best costumes I have seen, like floating around. Everybody's taking pictures and stuff like that. And I was just like, oh my God, that is so adorable. Okay, so moving on into your new surgery, let's backtrack just a second. Let's not go too bipolar, but like
Okay.
backtrack to the first surgery. Did you have any side effects with the sleeve that you feel you could share with those sleevers, or do you feel like you were because you gained weight and like you weren't losing that you really didn't feel a lot of the side effects that a regular surgery should really be doing for you? This is round one. So with your
Right.
did you have any side effects with that? Were there any?
No, the first one I did not have no side effects. I didn't have not the first one. I didn't have no
So you
problems.
didn't have
I
any
mean,
difficulty with any eating, like like products or shakes, bars,
nope, nope.
food, liquid. So you could like just pretty much from when you came home and you had no stages. Did you go through any stages? Like where you go to the
Um,
soft and the liquid and all that stuff, or no?
yeah. Now I had to do all that. I had to do the clears, and then you work
Hmm.
your way to the
Right.
full liquids, and then the solids. I had to do that with both the surgeries. You had 4 weeks of progressing up to solid foods.
Yeah. But so
So,
you
but
did
I
have
didn't
that with
have
the
no
first
side effects.
surgery. Yeah. Okay, so the
Yeah.
second one, what do you think now? Because I know I've been watching your videos, so I'll let you take over on this one. But from when you came home, when you started your liquids, and you went because you're still early on, but from then until now, what have you learned, and what kind of side effects have really taught you? Okay, this is really going to be a success for me because I know my limits now. You know what I mean? So
Right. Well, with this one, if I can eat 3 ounces, 3.5, 3 ounces, like a whole chicken wing, that's it. I'm done. Uh, from the get-go, when I first started being able to eat solids, I think I got maybe 2 ounces then. If I took too many bites, and I never knew what people meant about the foamies.
Oh
Okay,
gosh, I have those forever. But I'll go ahead and let you say it for
I
now.
get them. If I get a bite too many, I start getting the foamies, and then because I had that extra bite, the foamies, if I don't start getting rid of them, like spitting them out, it will make me
Sick.
have everything come up. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Sweet stuff.
Not happening.
If it does happen, a couple hours later, I'm going to know that it was a big mistake.
Yeah, that's what I was telling my doctors. I was like,
Oh
even if I wanted
my
to cheat,
gosh.
I can't. You know what I mean? Like I'm so many years now into it, so I know my limits. But I mean, and I can eat sweets to a certain extent. But if I push them, like, and here's an example. Not to take the spotlight away from you, but here's an example.
Oh, no, yeah.
I recently went to the store, and I'll be 3.5 years next month. So I went to the store and I bought Mother's. You know how Mother's has the mini cookies? Like they're very tiny, right? They have like iced oatmeal, and she has like chocolate chip or something. You know, the Mother's brand cookies have these minis. And I thought, oh, what a perfect thing, right? Minis. You know what I mean? Like, duh, I can't eat that much anyway. So but I can do 2. If I go 3, then I know I've crossed the line. But there are certain things like candy, forget it. I cannot do I wish I could do candy. Like, I always have some kind of a repercussion. So when I'm talking to the dietitian, I'm telling her, like, you know, because they always want to know why, like, even this far out and addressing my regain, they think I'm under some table. Seriously, you know what I mean? Eating, you know, cheesecake and yeah, I mean, one thing I've noticed about myself, and we'll ask you that as well, is that I feel like having surgery, and I have many people in my life that can attest to this, I obsess more about food now than I ever did then. And it's the weirdest thing, because you're like, I can't even fucking eat food. Sorry, but I mean, seriously, like, I can't even like go out the way I want to. Because sometimes I literally inside get mad that I can't finish something, just because there's times when I just want to enjoy what I'm eating, and I cannot finish it. So it you know, it upsets me that I can't do that. But you know, even if I wanted to be bad, I couldn't. So you know, so I understand your sweet. Like, did you also have the heightened senses, like the sweet is sweeter, salty is saltier? Did you have that as well?
Yes. The sweeter is definitely sweeter, and salty is definitely saltier. I did not have that the first time either. Like, I used to do the whole pack of Crystal Light. Now it's really sweet to me. It's really super sweet. Yeah, I like sweet stuff, but I don't like it that sweet anymore for some reason. You know what I'm saying?
It's just, like, I don't know. I feel like you know, the surgery itself just changes the chemistry of your body. You know what I mean? Like the way your body responds to certain things. So I feel like even with the foamies that we're talking about, like, it doesn't. I feel like for me in my body, it doesn't matter what type of food it is. Like if it's a breakfast food or a dinner food or a dessert, I will still get. And trust me, I have those for 4 months, and they were excessive. I mean, I could not move from the couch. God, please forgive me for saying this, but I had to spit in a towel, seriously, because I was like, I was seriously producing so much saliva that I didn't know what to do with it, and I didn't even know what it meant. Like, and didn't even matter what I ate, but I know I was really sensitive to like I can't do pre-made protein shakes. Like, I don't know if you've experimented with those, but because they are so sweet, even though they have low sugar in them, like Premier, for instance, I can't do that. Like, what I had to learn with myself, and what might be a good idea if you haven't tried this, is like, I bought a bullet. You know, I bought a NutriBullet, and I started learning how to level out my shakes, which would mean that I would add greens. And for some reason, I could do like a teaspoon. I like chunky peanut butter, and the bullet will, what do you call it? It like disintegrates, you know, all the nuts in the peanut butter or whatever. But I mean, I could do like a teaspoon of peanut butter, and even though that had sugar in it, it would still level out the taste of, I like pure protein. That's what I was using. So I was using the 3 green spring mix, which is kale, chard, and spinach. and then I would
Right.
use 1 teaspoon of peanut butter, and for some reason my body could tolerate like that blended with ice and so on, you know, and
Right.
water, and kind of level out that. So for those things like that, can you now like supplement shakes and bars and things like that, or are you just too sensitive to those particular products?
No, I don't have problems with the shakes actually. Now before I started Gen Pro, I'm on Gen Pro now. I was on the Body Fortress, which I really like. And they're not too sweet. And I really like Body Fortress. Only reason I went to Gen Pro is because they had changed their formula, the way I isolate, and I did not like it.
Are you
It just was
sensitive
chocolate.
to any lactose, like, or did you were you
Oh,
lactose
milk.
intolerant or anything
Oh,
before you
yeah.
started? So
I
did
was
that
lactose, and it increased because I had my gallbladder out. So now I was lactose intolerant before, and now it's like, yeah. I look at milk. Now I can eat cheese, and
me
it
too.
doesn't get me. It doesn't
I
get me.
can
But
too.
milk, creamer. Now I drink creamer. I do,
I do
and I
too.
think that's why I stay with loose bowels. But well, either that or it's just the surgery. I don't have a problem when it comes to moving my bowels now.
Yeah.
I did it first, but I don't now. But I'm gonna have my creamer. I got my
Well,
coffee.
actually,
I got
yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. And what I had to do, like, you know, what's weird is before I started surgery, I could drink that liquid flavored creamer like by the tons. I honestly could. Like, even being lactose intolerant and a GERD person, I could do that.
hmm
After the surgery and trying to experiment with different things, I found that using powdered creamer for some reason, just getting that creamy kind of, you know, getting the coffee to a certain consistency, and then just adding like a tad of the creamer, then like whatever it is, you know, like right now it's pumpkin spice because we're in the holidays, but any kind of flavored creamer, it really did decrease the amount of creamer. But seriously, if I run out of powdered creamer, I freak out, like literally, just because I have, you know, I buy these creamers by the gallon. I'm sure you do too, you know, from the grocery store.
hmm
And I mean, literally, it takes me like almost 2.5 months to finish it, because I wish that I could go back to the way I was and use, you know, I think some people use, what is it, like a quarter of a cup or something, you know, to make your coffee taste
Yeah,
good.
I don't
You
use that much. I use
know,
maybe
you
an
know,
eighth of a cup.
yeah, see, there's
Yeah.
some people that just like it, like just to turn a little bit, you know, so you can taste
hmm
the people I know in my life like pour it in, you know.
Oh
So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I can't do that. But I did find the trick, and another trick I found, if you haven't tried it, is buying the spices that go to the creamers. Like, you know,
Oh.
yeah. I mean, I don't know why I did that, but I just all of a sudden I went to a store and I started buying. I bought nutmeg, and I bought pumpkin spice, I bought allspice, and I bought cinnamon.
hmm
And now it's like it's like a ritual to me. Like, if I won't drink my coffee unless I can have my spices in it, and it's really weird. And I guess I get to actually benefit from it anyway, right? Because cinnamon, they say, helps your metabolism, period. And like
Oh my
pumpkin, you know,
gosh.
it's like, yeah, exactly. So, and you know, so if you ever like just think about, you know, maybe putting a little bit of your favorite spice in there, that also just helps. Like, I don't know, because I don't know about you, but I also became obsessed with coffee. Not just this whole Starbucks thing, but just coffee. Like, I could drink coffee 24 hours a day. Like, I don't understand what is wrong with me, but I can
Yep,
really drink coffee a lot.
I do.
So.
And you see my little whisk, that's to mix my Gym Pro. So everybody's like, why you got a whisk in your coffee? Well,
That's funny.
I like to make it real smooth. But yeah, I'm obsessed with coffee too.
Wow.
I have it.
So okay. So what about like so what month are you in right now? You're in six,
I'm in
or you said
seven.
April. So
In seven
okay. So
now.
you're in seven. So have
Yeah.
you been sensitive to any denser foods such as like porks, beefs? Like, is there anything
Oh
that you
yeah.
cannot do, like other than, you know,
Ribs.
obviously, you know, chicken, ribs?
Ribs. I have tried to eat it several times. It don't matter if it's pork ribs, beef ribs, what. I don't know what it is. Every time I try to eat them, I get sick. And
Aw.
so far, as far as meats, and I love ribs. I really love ribs. Uh, and I'm in the South, so we barbecue a lot of, a lot of ribs down here. You know that, right? But anyway, every time I have tried ribs, I've tried doing it several different ways. I've gotten sick, and it just breaks my heart. It's like I got to have a funeral for the ribs. But that's
Aw.
only meat. That's only meat I can't have. I mean
Yeah.
that I've tried that I can't, there may be others that I haven't tried. I'm kind of some reason hung up on chicken wings. For some reason, that's what I want to eat. I like
Hey,
chicken
whatever
wings.
works. I mean, I honestly feel like as long as you're conscientious and as long as you're trying to move, one of the things I know, I mean, even Lauren Losing made this video a while back, like I think when she was like year and a half, almost 2 years, I believe. She might be two
Mm,
years now, I can't remember. But anyway, she had made a video. She has several followers, and it was kind of like, what would I do different? You know what I mean? If I could do it over again. And I think a lot of
right.
us that did not take advantage of trying to really develop a fitness relationship,
Hmm.
if you can, I mean, if you're able, and if you're able to explore what you really like and what you don't like for those that really struggle with fitness, that I think even I agree that that is the one thing I did not like really dive into and teach myself how to make that part of my regiment, regardless of the choices I make now or how hard it is when you learn what you can actually
Yeah.
eat. Because a lot of people think down the road you will never be able to do this or never be able to do that. And when you're in the early stage, you have to, I've told Shannon this many times, really, really baby your first year. And you know this, as going through it with the VSG. I mean, you really
Yeah.
have to put your 120, 50% into that 1 year, because if you do not teach yourself something, and they say this a lot in the seminars as well, but if
Hmm.
you don't teach yourself something, your mindset, your attitude, your body, your regimen, everything about the way that you live prior to, you will not teach yourself a lifestyle. You know what I mean?
Right.
And unfortunately, it takes us back to that we are susceptible to regain and we are susceptible to old habits. And thank goodness that this surgery that you've had and that I does for life, we are prevented from abusing our body any further. So that I
Right.
feel is, you always have it as a reminder. I can't speak for VSGers because I wasn't, I never experienced that. But I do know that I will never be able to abuse or, like maybe overeat or anything of that nature. I am still learning, and I don't know if you feel the same, that I
Oh
am
yeah.
an emotional eater.
Hmm.
I noticed that when I internalize things, I don't feel like anybody can witness in my family that, or in my everyday life, that I abuse food. But I do know again that I am obsessed with it. It's just weird. It's so weird. Like all I do is talk about food 24 hours a day. But I know that I eat frequently, but I can't eat that much. So, but I do know that now that I'm so far out that I can eat the wrong things frequently, which will
Right.
in turn, cause me to gain weight. So what do you feel like you will teach yourself this time that will really prevent you from, you know, having a regain at year 3 or year 5? Like, how are you
Uh,
overdoing this?
yeah, I am still trying to learn that because yeah, I need to be doing right when it comes to my eating. I'm not eating enough. Like I can go all day, and I did this the first time too, and I need to change my relationship like that. I don't eat in the mornings because I'm not hungry. I want my coffee, so I end up drinking my coffee with my protein in it, which is not getting my metabolism started. And I know this in my mind. It's just trying to. I have to fight myself with these things. And I'm going to say this, that is one of our biggest problems that we have is ourselves, fighting ourselves.
Yeah, in the
You know
community,
what I'm
just
saying?
period. Yeah, as individuals.
It's
Yeah, people.
but one of the most important things that I can learn is I'm still learning, and I
Yeah,
can never
well,
stop.
well, I feel like that's why they call it a lifestyle change, and that.
Mhm.
But I mean, I still feel like they also warn you that, like, even if you were to do research now, even on your current surgery,
Right.
what or maybe I don't know how many people are out there in the community that have had this particular surgery that you've had, like this transitional
Right.
surgery. But if it was me as well, I would also wonder if I could find someone right around 3, because I feel like 3 to
Mhm.
5 years. They always say. I mean, I feel like when I say they, I just mean research, material, literature out there says that if you can make it to year 5, at a
Right.
maintenance level. I mean, even with the, let's say a 12, 15-pound regain. But if you can make it to year 5 and just literally, be diligent about not allowing yourself to go above that window,
Right.
then you will succeed. You know what I mean? I mean, I feel like it's like a business, right? I mean, if a business can make it past a 5-year mark, they're going to make it. You know what I
Right.
mean? I mean, it's not a guarantee. Nothing is a guarantee. But what I'm saying is that if you can manage to change your life within that time and build that regimen and just know that internally you have made a stern decision that you will never go back, I feel like that is something that, you will succeed. I mean, and I don't really feel like, one thing I wanted to ask about this about the surgery in Mexico as well is, I know a lot of surgeons here, or I've heard a lot of people say, the surgeons don't put a number on your success. Did your particular surgeon say, okay, here's where I'd like you to be, or did they put a
No.
percentage on your loss?
No, actually, they didn't put a number on where they would like me to be. Actually, they didn't. I think that's a little bit different where it comes, and neither doctor did. I think I pretty much told them where I wanted to be, but no, I think they just want you to be successful and reach the goal weight that you set for yourself. And naturally, if you say, okay, and they did ask me, where do you want to be? And I told them, I said, I'd like to be 145. I believe, and I believe with my heart to heart, that if I would have told them that I wanted to be an unhealthy weight, like 115, whatever, something like that, would not, they would be like, well, no, that's not going to be a good goal for you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree.
I believe that with my heart to heart, that this doctor here and the coordinators now, they go over and beyond trying to help you make sure that you're going to get to your goal weight. Because like, that's one thing I'm paranoid about, is not reaching my goal weight this time. And even though I'm heading there and I'm working my way down to it, it's still stuck in my mind from the first experience. So it's like I'm fighting myself the whole way, but I feel like this time it's going to be a better chance.
Yeah. Well, I was hoping that we'd get some questions, but since we haven't, I wanted to also ask, how is your vitamin regimen going in terms of, getting all your vitamins in, getting your requirements in? And the second part of that is, are you experiencing hair loss at this point, and, all those things that people get scared of and so on and so forth since you had a transitional surgery? I don't know if BSGers lose their hair as well, but with this experience, your second time around, are you, losing hair and starting to go into that phase at this point? Because I can't remember what phase it starts. I think it's 6 or 7 months, actually.
Right. I did not, and I am not currently losing hair. I didn't the first time, and I will show you my vitamin regimen. I'm going to take you over here.
Yay!
And
That's
okay,
cool.
so this is my little vitamin thing, and I have my morning vitamins. I have my afternoon, which is my afternoon is my iron and vitamin C, and then I have my evening. So I have a extensive vitamin regimen, because like with the bypass, you malabsorb and everything like that. So I do stick up with my vitamins very well, and I take them every day, and I have not had no problem with hair loss. I don't know if it's because I'm going nice and slow and steady or what, but I haven't had no problem. Now I'm due for I'm late for my 6-month blood work, and I'm fixing to go and get them done. But my 3-month blood work come out perfect. They were great. Everything was great on it. So they said to get the true reading, it'll be your 6 months. So we'll see how that goes. But I feel good. I mean, if it wasn't for my back, I would feel perfect.
Yeah.
I mean, I really do. I feel good. I feel like I have energy. I feel great.
Yeah.
I just can't get my body to cooperate with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, that totally makes sense. So another thing I think we didn't cover before we get close to the end is costs and coverage, because I know that I think you shared in your videos that you did not have insurance coverage, right, for this type of experience. And what was the difference between your first and second time, and what is it like, to have to carry this all on your own? In terms of, I would think that if you don't have coverage, you're also covering the basics like labs and follow-up, right?
Right. Well, all of that is inclusive. When it comes with the payment, everything is included with the labs as far as while you're there. Now afterwards, you're on your own. You have to get the labs on your own. But the price, my first surgery actually was more expensive than my second surgery, and then I also had to pay with my second surgery. I had to pay an $800 extra fee because of it being a revision, and they go in there and they clean out all the scar tissue, and then I paid $250 more to have my gallbladder out. So,
Okay.
yeah, altogether with this second one, I only paid like $8,500.
Wow.
And
Yeah,
that was all inclusive.
like
So,
20 something. I know when I got my bill, let me just tell you, because I didn't
yeah,
cover,
I can imagine.
coverage, but I was at UC Davis here in Sacramento, California, and my surgery, when I saw it, I logged into the website and it was 110,229. And
Right.
I was 8, 9 days in the hospital, I believe, because I had side effects and so on, but just everything, including the stay, the surgery, everything, it was $110,229 or something. It's crazy,
Right.
like a crazy number. And I was like, Jesus Christ, like if I didn't have, coverage, obviously I would have looked at other options. So I think, like you said in the beginning of the show, it's just that, like, don't ever be afraid. I feel like to
Right.
step out of your box, and if you're going to do something like this, there's so many people now sharing these experiences on YouTube that, they're putting you in touch with good communication, and it sounds like they're taking really
Right.
good care of you, right?
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's so,
Oh, yeah.
I swear technology today, it's like they're making it so we don't even ever have to go anywhere.
Yeah.
So what are your NSVs so far? What's your ultimate NSV? I know I asked Shannon that. What do you
Right.
want? What's on your bucket list? What do you have going on? What are
My bucket
some
list.
of the things you did? Yeah.
Oh, let's see. One of my big NSVs that I consider like a milestone is that I am now the same size I was when I first met my husband before I had my son. I am
Aww.
now, yeah, I was a size 12 then, and I'm wearing size 12s now. I am now smaller than I ever got on the first surgery. I hit Wonderland. That was a
That
huge
was
one. Now
exciting.
that was a huge one, is hitting Wonderland, because before the lowest I got was 202. I never dipped below it, and it broke my heart. So
Yeah.
hitting Wonderland was a big one on my bucket list. Oh my God, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Funny.
It's like I haven't even thought
Okay.
about a bucket
Yeah.
list.
Let's not overwhelm you. What is your ultimate NSV? Like, what would you like to see happen that you've never had the opportunity to enjoy? I know for some people, I'll give you an example. For some people, just getting on a plane and being able to sit comfortably in a plane, and I know that always see pictures of people, like, fastening their seatbelts and saying this never gets old, or crossing your legs. You know what I mean? It never gets old. So for you, what would be your ultimate NSV that's just simple, but like wowed you, or do you want to happen?
I would love to be able to go to Sturgis on my motorcycle. I think
Oh,
that would probably be the biggest thing for my bucket list. I would love to be able to get to where I'm healthy enough to where my back doesn't bother me, to be able to make that ride up there. That would be something that I would really love for to happen.
did they? Actually, that's a great point. When you were talking about goal, or even percentage-wise, since they didn't give you a number,
Hmm.
were they saying that maybe perhaps a certain weight or a percentage of excess fat would help and enhance, like, the way that your pain is leveling out now, like with your injury and your back and stuff? Like, is there,
Yeah.
will there be, once you'll hit goal? Because I mean, you're already almost there. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe that last 20 pounds, I know there's a lot of us out here that don't, who
Yeah.
are shy of 15 or shy of 20 or something. And, that's when you really have to be careful, because you can kind of go backwards. But did they
Right.
say, well, if you could reach this goal that you're talking about, I really think that the opportunity of you having less pain, or I don't know if
Oh
surgery is
yeah,
in the
that
mix
was
for that,
yeah,
but
that was one of the main reasons, besides my diabetes, that because home my home physician kept saying, Jody, if you get off some of that weight, it will help your back so much. And that was a big factor in this revision, is because of the pain that I have with my back and neck. Right now it hasn't helped, but I'm still 40 pounds left to go. So I'm going to keep my fingers crossed on that one, and
So
hope
you're
that
just going to
it's
gauge
getting
it.
rest. Yeah.
If perhaps, unfortunately, we'll just say in an unfortunate circumstance, let's say you get to goal and it doesn't help, what are your options to correct? I mean, now that you're, so much
Surgery.
lighter, so is that scary? I mean, I don't know anything about back injury, so I'm just wondering, like, because I know Janine, Pinkfish Lily, talks a lot about her back injuries, or her, she was in a car accident, I believe, and she has to have some more surgery as well. But I mean, will that remedy your issue, or
I think if I was able to have surgery, that should remedy it. I have degenerative disc disease in my neck and back. So it's either get the surgery or get the steroid shots, which I refuse to do. I already had one. And I will say that I think that I should be a little bit further than I am not right now, but that steroid shot has slowed me down.
And it's funny that you're saying that, because I know Lindsay, Fly Girl BSG, we're going to have her on the show in the future as well. And I think she had to have a steroid shot, I believe, for her knee, if I'm not mistaken. Lindsay, you'll correct me when you're on the show, but I remember her saying that just in that short amount of time of whatever therapy she was going through, she had a gain. And she was like, I don't know if it was, I know she was talking about the IUD as well, but I think there was a shot somewhere, where she had hurt her knee or something, and she was just talking about it. And I think Kirk as well, somebody else had, so there's been different stories throughout the community that have talked about different, injuries and different remedies and therapies that they're going through, and how those medications and all that stuff affects your weight. And it's just sad, like, how everything just has to contain salt, you know what I mean? Or saline or something to make you carry weight. So, hopefully you'll get to a point where maybe the weight will just kind of make it easier for you to manage, your injury. Did they say that exercise can also make your back stronger if you reach goal? Or
they said it right now with my lower back, actually walking should help improve it. But what's happening is my lower back has been doing good. It's the middle of my back that's killing me right now, and we don't even know what's going on because I need an MRI to find out.
So does that disease like shift? Is what you're saying? Like
no, no. Actually, with the bottom part, what happens is my discs protrude because there's so much inflammation. It makes them protrude and they hit my sciatic. But with walking, it can help. It can help do where it does better. Now, I am taking Arthotech, which is an anti-inflammatory, which we're not supposed to have. But Arthotech has a PPI in it to line your stomach to protect it from ulcers. So I am taking that, so that could be helping my lower back, but I don't know what's going on with the middle of my back. I'm just getting freaking old, I guess. Yeah, just getting old, old.
Join the club. But have you also looked into not holistic, but like natural stuff? Because I'm only saying this because I just watched Dr. Oz.
Oh yeah, I'm taking some natural substances.
Yeah, and they said.
Well, not those. I should. No, wait, hold on.
It was called turmeric, I thought, right? Turmeric?
Yes, I have. In fact, I do have to. I have it right here that I'm taking. Holy fart. Oh, well, anyway, hold on. It's not that. This is my vitamin bag, y'all. See? Isn't that awful? This is it right here. That's what I'm taking.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah, because I know there's my mom is also using different supplements for high blood pressure. She's trying to naturally, get a hold of her blood pressure, and I noticed a lot of these different spices and so on can help inflammation. It's crazy. I think they even said cinnamon too. I can't remember. I just remember they were saying like
cinnamon and turmeric are the big ones. This has got curcumin, and turmeric.
Yeah. That's
so
awesome.
I'm taking that, which I haven't got through the first month yet, so I don't know if that's really, but I'm taking it. So it's in my vitamin regimen.
Do you think there's a difference, though, in using, like, the pill form as opposed to the actual real spices? I mean, have you read anything about that? Maybe putting
I haven't read too much on it, but I have tried the natural.
Mm-hmm.
And, they're pretty harsh.
Oh, strong?
Yeah.
Strong?
Oh, yeah. I tried making turmeric tea one time, and let me tell you. Yeah, it was pretty nasty. Yeah, so
Oh my,
I'm all about going for the pill form because I guinea pigged myself on a couple things, and
yeah.
yeah, just like I heard that with ginger, if you have an upset stomach, get a little
Yeah.
piece of ginger and chew on it, right?
Yeah, yeah. They were
I
putting
never
together.
had fresh ginger before, so I took me a nice hunk, and that won't never happen again.
That's funny. They were putting together this spice chew. I don't know if you saw Dr. Oz yesterday, but they were putting together this like this spice chew thing. I guess it's like a
Mm,
mixture, and you're just supposed to pick it up and like chew on it, and it's supposed to help. I can't remember if it was like indigestion or something like that. But they were like,
mm,
there's all these. I love Dr. Oz just because he always has something crazy on it, weird.
yeah.
But yeah. So we're almost to the wrap. So if you could give anyone any like advice to take with them for those that are looking for people that have had
Hmm.
revisions, a second round, or that are that are scared, or maybe or maybe just curious about looking
Right.
into revision, or just curious about having surgery in Mexico, what would you tell someone that knew nothing about this community of ours? Knew nothing about, just the surgery itself, and researching, what would you tell them that would be the best sort of, plan to put together in terms of looking for a good surgeon?
Do your research. Do your research. Utilize your social media because I'm telling you what, I learned so much through other people and their experiences. If you do your research and you watch, go on YouTube and find people, type in the company's name, type the company's name into Google, research, what you're doing because really Mexico was I mean, both times they were good experiences. I mean, it's just the first one didn't work for me. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't change it for nothing. Just do your research.
Yeah, so you've got nothing but good things to say about revision and just the surgery itself. I mean, do you have any
Right.
regrets, you think, in closing? Do you have any regrets of like feeling like you didn't do as successful the first time? Do you regret that you actually, or not regret, I hate to say regret because that's not really, like, I don't think any of us really, exercise regret very much, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying, like, if you could do it all over again in this manner, would you do it this way?
Yes, if I could have done this one the first time, I wish that's the only regret I had is that I did not go with the bypass the first time.
So,
Yep. So I
yeah.
didn't have to do it a second time.
Yeah. Well, I just, if it's okay, I mean, if you guys have any questions, unfortunately we didn't get any questions for Jody right now, but I do want to say that I have showcased her YouTube channel if you want to catch up with her journey in itself. And if you have any questions for her, please write. Please feel free to reach out to her,
Yeah.
or
Just reach out.
yeah.
I don't bite.
Yeah, comment on this video. We also want to just announce that Jody will now be part of the BBTV team.
Oh
So
yeah.
she will actually be co-hosting as well on some of the shows that we have coming up, and she'll be rotating shows and so on and so forth. So Jody, I just want to say thank you so much for sharing your story and
Thank
giving us some
you.
insight on, having surgery out of the country, because I think a lot of people may be apprehensive, and sharing your shout out to the real Share Bear, Sherry. We love you.
Yeah.
And just so excited that you're doing well, and that, I mean, your progress is just unbelievable, and I'm really happy and proud of
Well, thank
that you've
you.
done this, that that you weren't afraid, right, to do the revision.
Right.
I know I personally am not afraid of it either. I just think it's a really long process when you're in the States, but
Yeah. Well, thank you
I
for
maybe
having
just love
me.
it too. Yeah, hey, really quick too, also, do you think, just really quick, in the future that you will consider plastics? I know a lot of people get to a
Oh
point where they
no.
want to,
Oh
no,
no, I
so
won't be
plastics are
able to
not for
do
you.
that. I would like to. I would
Yeah.
like to, but I don't think that'll be a possibility.
Okay, just asking because I know some people get to, to out, or
Oh
they have like
yeah.
a plan, strategic plan. So
Yeah.
yeah, okay, so all of you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Please, like I said, feel free to comment. We're so happy that you took the time to watch the show, even if it wasn't live. We always are grateful and appreciative to anyone that takes the time out to hear the stories that we share. And you will be seeing Jody in the future. So
Oh
thank you
yeah.
so
Thank
much,
y'all.
guys. Yeah, thank you so much, guys. You
Bye.
take care. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.
Bye y'all.